Hey, today we're talking about the top 7 artery cleansing foods. They call heart disease the silent killer. Why? Because we don't feel it when our arteries start to get clogged and inflamed, but it could result in poor memory, poor cognitive function, lower energy levels, could result in lower libido and poor skin quality. A number of different symptoms may start to occur as our arteries become more and more inflamed and damaged. But ultimately, all of us want to make sure we're eating an artery cleansing diet. So what are the principles? Number 1, low sugar, low seed oils, low chemicals. Seed oils, that's gonna be corn oil, soybean, safflower, cottonseed, peanut oil, canola oil, right? Those are all the seed oils. They're high in omega-6. They're also a rancid oil. So they actually create massive amount of reactive oxygen species. They damage our cell membranes. So we want to do everything we can to reduce our exposure to sugar, seed oils, and chemicals. So we want to go as organic as possible, grass-fed, wild-caught with our animal products, super key. We want a diet that's rich in nutrients, high in nutrients, low in toxins. That's the key. Think about when you're consuming food, okay, I want food that's going to really provide me a lot of nutrients, very little toxins. And the key nutrients we need when it comes to healthy arteries are going to be protein or amino acids. We need good protein in order to break down damaged protein and rebuild new protein. So we have to have protein. We need antioxidants. You're going to hear me talk about things like polyphenols that we get from things like extra virgin olive oil and pomegranates. Really powerful. We need magnesium. We need vitamin D. Now, vitamin D we typically get from the sun, but we can also get some from our diet as well. And we need this key nutrient, vitamin K2. Magnesium, vitamin D, and vitamin K2 work together to take calcium out of the bloodstream and put it into the cells where it belongs. When calcium builds up and we have a poor calcium vacuum into the bones, now calcium will build up and will create plaquing in the arteries. And so calcium is the main component in arterial plaque. So we want calcium being pulled, sucked into the bones. We need vitamin K2, we need magnesium for that. We also need omega-3s, which help create an anti-inflammatory environment that allows us to have really good blood flow. So, top foods. Number 1, wild-caught salmon, right? Wild-caught seafood in general is great, but particularly wild-caught Alaskan salmon. You think about salmon, they're this pink fish, and they swim upstream against the rapids, literally swimming upstream, and they can jump 10 feet out of the water. The amount of energy that they have to produce in their mitochondria in order to do that is exponential, right? They're incredibly strong. Why is that? Well, a couple key nutrients. Number 1 is the omega-3 fats. They have a lot of long-chain omega-3s, EPA and DHA from eating red algae that they're being exposed to, and they turn that into this EPA and DHA, which allows their cells to really function well and to get messages across really well. Their nervous system functions extremely well. They're also rich in astaxanthin. This is this compound, this pigmented compound that makes the algae red and also makes the salmon pink. And so that astaxanthin is a very powerful antioxidant. So we're getting that when we're consuming the salmon. We're also getting protein, right? We're also getting, a lot of other key compounds that are helpful for keeping our arteries healthy and clean. Magnesium, right? We're getting a lot of these key nutrients. And so that's a great one. Number 2, extra virgin olive oil, right? If you make a big salad, now I'm a big fan of things like arugula, lower oxalate vegetables. I like cucumbers, stuff like that. But when you make a big salad and you have an olive oil, extra virgin olive oil based dressing, particularly a fresh pressed olive oil, really good quality olive oil, the most nutrient dense thing in that salad is actually the olive oil. And so the olive oil is rich in something called oleocanthols, which have been shown in study after study after study to improve metabolic function, to lower our risk of cardiovascular disease, to reduce overall inflammation in our body. They call it nature's ibuprofen. So one of the most powerful things we can get. Now, if you get the cheapest olive oil on the market, you probably have very little, if any, oleocanthal. So oleocanthal, we lose it over time. So the further the olive oil is away from being pressed originally, the more we're losing it. Also, the unripe olive, the green olive, is highest in oleocanthal. And as it ripens, it loses oleocanthal, gives it kind of a bitter taste. So a lot of olive oils are pressed with black olives, which are high in healthy fats, but they have very low polyphenols, because the ripe olives have more fat, so they can make more oil out of them. So this is why I recommend a fresh pressed extra virgin olive oil that's tested for oleocanthal content in general, right? So you get the best benefit. That's a great medicinal food right there. Number 3, pomegranate. If you look at a pomegranate, you open it up, it looks like a heart chamber. And in nature, we say like supports like. And so the pomegranate has really powerful compounds that are in there, right? These oligotannins, like ellagic acid, for example, and anthocyanins, that are really powerful polyphenol antioxidants that support healthy heart function, healthy cardiovascular function, help reduce plaque in our arteries. They help to, reduce platelet sticking, a lot of different things like that. So pomegranate's great. Eggs. Now, a lot of people will say, well, eggs are high in cholesterol. And yes, they are. And the good thing is dietary cholesterol does not impact your blood cholesterol, right? And so the cholesterol you're consuming from your diet has little to no impact on the cholesterol in your blood. But eggs are very rich in magnesium, very rich in vitamin K2, particularly the egg yolk, particularly if it's from like a pasture-raised chicken. They're gonna have more vitamin K2, more conjugated linoleic acid, which is another really healthy fat for our metabolism, as well as omega-3 fats. We talked about how important those are, and good bioavailable proteins and amino acids that are in the egg yolk, vitamin A, which gives the yolk kind of that yellowish color, fat-soluble retinol, that vitamin A, really powerful there. So eggs can be really, really helpful here. They've got this triad of magnesium, vitamin D, and K2, which is optimal for good calcium metabolism. Grass-fed dairy, another great source, particularly the higher fat sources like a butter, right? You're gonna have more of these omega-3s, conjugated linoleic acid, more fat-soluble nutrients that are in the fat. So vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin K2, right? Vitamin E is really key. I forgot to talk about that with extra virgin olive oil, but that's also a great source of vitamin E. Vitamin E has been shown to really reduce atherosclerosis and arterial plaquing. So extra virgin olive oil's got it, but also the grass-fed dairy is a good source of that vitamin E as well. And so with grass-fed dairy, I like either high protein forms or high fat forms. So like a grass-fed butter or something like maybe a Greek yogurt. Or if you're able to get like grass-fed raw milk, that's fine as well, or cheeses. That can be really helpful as well. Just because I said grass-fed dairy doesn't mean go out and eat ice cream, right? Because ice cream is going to be full of sugar, seed oils, right, and chemicals, and so we want to avoid those. Okay, strawberries. Strawberries, kind of like pomegranate, actually looks like a heart. So it's shaped in the same shape as our heart, and strawberries are rich in these oligotannins, right, which are very antioxidant, and they have a great antioxidant anti-plaquing effect. Also very rich in anthocyanins, which again have this sort of anti-atherosclerotic effect on the body. So getting in more of these kinds of fruits, pomegranate and strawberries, really all berries in general are going to be beneficial. I just like to point out that strawberries, because they look like the heart, can be really good. Number 7, grass-fed beef or bison or red meat and organs, particularly heart. You can actually get, if you find a local farmer or a butcher, you can oftentimes get heart, grass-fed heart. And grass-fed heart is really rich in coenzyme Q10, which is this powerful antioxidant that we produce in all the cells of our body and runs our body's ability to produce energy, right? It's critical for energy production, critical for overall cardiovascular function. And so we can actually find specific compounds in the heart that are going to transfer benefits to healthy cardiovascular function for us. So getting some grass-fed heart in, and it actually doesn't taste that bad. It's not as strong as a liver, for example. And on top of that, it's got powerful nutrients. You can also use supplements. You can use grass-fed organ supplements that may have a combination of heart, liver, right? Different things like that, bone marrow, sometimes in these, kidney, spleen. And that can be really helpful. But grass-fed beef in general, rich in conjugated linoleic acid, has omega-3 fats. It has got fat-soluble nutrients in there, amino acids that are really great for the body. So all of that is really, really good. Okay, now one thing with meat you want to make sure is that you're not burning it. So when we burn meat, right, if we're like char grilling it, we're producing heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons that are very inflammatory on our body. These are chemical compounds that are produced in the heating process that can be really toxic and inflammatory for the body. So we want to make sure we're cooking it, but not cooking it at too high a heat or for too long to where we're char grilling it and getting a lot of these blackened types of compounds on it. Now, if for some reason you are consuming that, making sure you're getting extra antioxidants is always helpful. So making sure you're eating maybe some extra berries, right? Or extra virgin olive oil, like I talked about earlier. Or maybe having like some arugula with it or some parsley and things like that. So you're getting some antioxidants in there. That can be really, really helpful. You know, and if you're cooking meat, right, have a pomegranate with it, right? Have strawberries with it. This is how you can start to combine a lot of these compounds and get the best artery clearing effect. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that content. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my channel, browse the various videos that I've done on similar topics, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. That way you get notified whenever I put up a new video training. Thanks so much for being a part of our community here, and I really hope you enjoy the videos that we're putting out on a regular basis. Be blessed.